Hey, Brandon. Uh, so the other day I texted because I was reading the book of Numbers, and there's a situation where God got mad at the Hebrews because they were eating a lot of meat.
Oh, the quail.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quail. So was it because of gluttony? Was it because of lack of faith, or the complaining? Why was God so angry with them that he didn't actually let them go into the promised land? Because all of them pretty much
Yeah.
died. Yeah.
Well, it kind of goes back to the nature of how we are in our flesh. God consistently calls us to walk in faith. He consistently calls us into situations where it may not look like He's going to come through, but that's exactly why we need to trust in Him, because when He does come through, our faith in Him will grow and a good track record will have been established. The Israelites, God told them specifically, and that's one of the things we need to do to contextualize this, is God told them that He would continue to provide for them, but they got, I would say, because of their lack of faith, they got greedy, right? They wanted to collect it all and get it all together because they were worried that what if He doesn't actually come through, and what if He doesn't do what He says He did? And I think that's exactly why we see the Lord getting upset with them, because He brought them out of bondage. He's taking care of them. He's had them through the wilderness. He's got His hand of protection over them, and yet they consistently fail to trust in the things that He tells them. And that's actually kind of the common theme of what you see throughout the entirety of the Old Testament is God consistently comes through for them, but then they place their faith in something else. They go and they worship idols. They go and they do the things that the pagan nations are doing when God has been nothing but faithful in blessing them and providing for them. And fast forward to today, we haven't changed. It's the same thing. When the Lord provides for us, when the Lord keeps His hand of protection in our lives, we do a terrible job of consistently trusting in the promises He's given to us because we look at the promise and we don't look at the promise giver. Right? If we look at the promises and we say that looks like an insurmountable thing to tackle, then it's easy to reason ourselves out of trusting in the Lord. But when we look at the promise giver who has consistently come through for His people and for us in our lives, if we're paying attention to the things that He's doing, then it's easier to step out and say, that looks difficult, but the God that told me that He would come through is the creator of the universe, so I really don't have anything I need to worry about. And that's a big failure in a lot of the Israelites at the time, and that's why we see that recorded in Scripture. It's given to us as kind of a bad example to learn from. Trust in what God has promised to do because He's the one who's made the promise, not because the promise makes sense or looks like something that's achievable based on our abilities. Right? Because at that point, we're placing our trust in ourselves, and we're more likely to gather more of the blessing to try and last longer than to place our faith in the fact that God said He'll consistently provide for us to the end.